Hi everyone, my name is Sam. I am the owner of Comic Sam's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how to make this icicle cup cozy. Now, this pattern is a variation of the icicle beanie pattern that I released several years ago. It is a little bit different. It looks a little bit different, but it is a companion piece to the icicle beanie pattern. To do this, you are going to need worsted weight yarn in 2 colors. I am using Lion Brand 24/7 cotton. I also prefer to use cotton for cup cozies. I mean, if it's not getting like boiling hot, it's probably fine using acrylic, but I just prefer to use cotton. You can also use 1 color if you want. I like the look with 2. You're also going to need a 3.5mm crochet hook, some scissors, a yarn needle, and a stitch marker. Possibly 2 stitch markers if you want to mark the beginning and the end. However, I have enough experience with knowing what my stitches look like that I can get away with just marking the end stitch. Starting with your background color, that's this color that's going to be back here, because you will only change colors for these spike stitch rows. So starting with the background color, you're going to want to chain 36. Now you can do a foundation half double crochet if you want. Personally, I'm just going to do a chain 36, but you're going to do the chain 36 and then 3 rows of half double crochet. So if you want, you can just start off with a foundation half double crochet round of 36 stitches. Once you have your chain 36 done, you're going to want to take your stitch marker and put that in the last chain here. And then you're going to make this into a round. Now make sure that you are not twisting your chain. Make sure that it is flat, so like so. And then insert your hook. Slip stitch and chain 1. Now, as I said before, you are now going to do 3 rows of half double crochets. And you're going to start in the same stitch as the slip stitch and the chain 1. Once you get to the end of round 1, you're going to want to put your stitch marker into the last stitch, and then insert your hook into the first stitch of the round and slip stitch and chain 1. And you'll want to do that at the end of every round. But it will be a little bit different on the round before the spike stitch rounds because you'll be changing the colors. But go ahead and continue on another 2 rounds of half double crochets. So at the end of round 3, you are going to want to attach your yarn, your new color, the spike stitch color, as you finish off the round. But a little bit more complicated. In the spike stitch rounds, you will do any single crochets into the third stitch, which is back here. So you're going to want to insert your hook, because remember you did half double crochets. I don't know if you can see that. So you've got these 2, the little braided kind of pattern that's on the top. When you make half double crochets, you also have a third little piece back here. So that's what you're going to stitch into for the single crochets and also the slip stitch at the beginning of the round. So yarn over for the slip stitch in the new color, bring it through like this, and then chain 1, and then just pull the brown string to tighten that. There you go. So the spike stitch rounds will be a little bit different on each round, as you can see, because they're offset, but you're starting in the same point. Which part is the first part for that round will vary depending on which round it is. But for this first round of spike stitches, you will do a single crochet and then the cluster of spike stitches. That's how I call it in the written pattern, is a cluster. So it's basically the short spike stitch, the long spike stitch, and the short spike stitch. So for the first round of spike stitches, you are going to single crochet again into that same back third loop. And then you're going to begin the spike stitches. So you will insert your hook one row down. I don't know if you can see the holes. So this is the stitch, and then you go one row down like so, yarn over, pull through, and then complete the stitch so that it looks like this. And then you are going to do the long one, which is 2 rows down, no yarn over. I keep trying to yarn over whenever I do these, and it's not what I'm supposed to do. Pull it up so it's about even, yarn over, and pull through. Now, it is a little bit complicated to do these because it can be hard to see which stitches you are missing, because you're essentially skipping, because you're not stitching into these for the spike stitches. However, I believe, nope, trying to yarn over again. I believe that the third one, which goes into 1 row down again, I believe that one goes into this stitch, loop. Yes, so it'll look like this. And then you're going to repeat that all the way around. So single crochet into the third loop, back here, like this, insert your hook into this hole right here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. And then again, this one will go into this one, and okay, let's do a little closer. So the long spike stitch will go into this hole right here, 2 rows down, and then the next short spike stitch, I believe, will go into this hole right here. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and again, you want to make sure it's tall like this, and then pull through, and then insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through. Yeah. So, and sometimes they get a little crossed like this. You just gotta manipulate them a little bit. But it should look like this. You're just going to want to repeat that all the way around. Remember doing the single crochet that's at the beginning of the repeat, because remember it's single crochet, and then the cluster, single crochet, cluster. The single crochet goes into the third loop at the back here. And there you have your first round of spike stitches. So we're going to switch back to the background color again on the first stitch. So we're going to insert the hook, switch these over, and yarn over in the brown color like so, and then chain 1. So it looks like this. This is what it looks like when the first round is done. So you're going to do another 3 rounds of half double crochets in the background color. I prefer to include this spike stitch color on the slip stitch that connects the rounds. That way I can bring it up through the work, and I don't have to weave in a bunch of different ends or have open strings in the back. All right, short little interjection to explain how this works. So you're going to do a carry the color similarly to the way you would do if you were doing tapestry crochet. However, you are only doing it on the first stitch of the round. So in order to do it, you've got the color that you're working with, which is the color that you would normally yarn over. So I'm doing half double crochets. So I insert the hook. Now normally you would just yarn over with the color that you're working with. When you want to carry the color, you also bring the carried color over the hook like this, but then you only yarn over with the worked color. Then you finish the stitch like so. And so this color is carried in the back. So you can see this is where it was, this is where it comes out. So you've encased the carried color in the stitch. And again, in tapestry crochet, you would continue doing this all the way around. For this, you are only doing it on the slip stitch at the beginning of the round. So on the cup cozies, the back of it, this is the inside, this is the seam. So you can see here that I've carried the color up through the work. But yeah, so you're just going to go around and do half double crochets in each stitch around for 3 additional rows. So it should look like this once you have the first additional round of half double crochets covering the spike stitches. Once you're done with the 7th round, which is the 3rd round of half double crochets here above the spike stitch row, you are going to again change colors on the slip stitch. So insert your hook again into the 3rd stitch back here, yarn over with the new color and chain 1. Like so. I said previously that the spike stitch rows would be different. So previously we did a single crochet and then the spike stitch cluster. On this 2nd round of spike stitches, it's going to be the spike stitch cluster, so short, long, short, and then the single crochet. And the reason for that is we want this long spike stitch to go in the spot for the single crochet from the previous round. So again, just doing the spike stitches. So short one, insert 1 row down. So here, pull up, loop, here, like this. Now, the long spike stitch, see it better. The long spike stitch should go into this hole here. The short spike stitch will go into this hole here. So insert, yarn over, like so, and then insert like this. So it'll look like this. And again, the single crochets go into the 3rd loop from the last round. So it'll look like this, and you're just going to want to repeat that all the way around. Again, making sure that this long spike stitch goes approximately above where the single crochet was before. It's not perfect because crocheting does slant a little bit, but you know, get close. And again, your spike stitches might end up a little twisted like this. Just manipulate them until they look like that. Again, insert into this one for the long stitch and this one for the short stitch. So insert, yarn over, see the pattern? And keep doing that all the way around. And because of the way that the spike stitches work for this round, remember we're going to have the last stitch be a single crochet instead of the end of the cluster stitch. So single crochet into the 3rd loop and then add your stitch marker. Once again, we will do a final 3 rounds of half double crochets in the background color. So we're just going to remember this beginning of the spike stitch was the first round, or the first stitch of the last round. So insert your hook and slip stitch and pull that tight and chain 1. And then, yeah, just do 3 more rounds of the half double crochets, and then we'll do 1 final round of spike stitches on top. Okay, we're at the end of the 11th round, and we're actually done with the background color. So you can just cut that off, leaving a little bit to weave the ends in. So again, we are going to do 1 final round of spike stitches. So we are going to change colors by inserting your hook into the 3rd stitch, slip stitch, and chain 1. Just use this end to pull that tight. Now again, this round of spike stitches is slightly different. We're actually going to begin with a partial cluster because the single crochet is right here. So we're actually going to begin with the long spike stitch. Insert your hook here. So do the long spike stitch like this, and then the short spike stitch will go 1 round below here, like so. Again, it's just a partial cluster. You will finish the last stitch of this round of spike stitches will be the short spike stitch that completes this cluster. So again, single crochet into the 3rd loop of the previous round, and then you'll just do it as normal. So cluster, single crochet, cluster, single crochet. Again, with the exception of the last stitch, which will just be the short spike stitch that begins this little cluster here. We've got the short one here, the long one will go in here, and then the short one will go in here. And then the final stitch of the cup cozy, again, is the other half, or the other start part of the cluster stitch over here. Now, normally it would go into this stitch right here. I think to make it look a little bit more cohesive, it's going to go into the slip stitch for the beginning of the round here, just to make it look a little bit better. And there you go. I believe I will create my own little chain to finish this off with the yarn needle as opposed to slip stitching, but you could also finish the round by slip stitching into the first stitch of the round. Pull that out. Take your yarn needle, and again, to just create that little chain, you just insert through here like so, and then insert into there like this, and so that it just looks like you just got another top of another stitch there. And then you're just going to secure it on the back and weave in all of your ends. And there you have it, a finished cup cozy. I hope you enjoyed this pattern. If you did, feel free to give it a like or give my channel a follow. I do post video patterns and explanations and stuff like that on my channel. As always, the written version of this pattern will be available for free on my blog. You can also get a low-cost PDF everywhere that I sell patterns.